Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to Kiss My Ashley. So today I'm going to be doing a storytime video, and it's going to be a paranormal story. It's not just like one consecutive story, it's like a bunch of little stories combined, and it's about my place of employment because I think my job is haunted. And I'm not the only one. Other people, my friends and my coworkers, have experienced this, and for the sake of them, because I'm not sure if they would be okay with me mentioning their actual names in this video, I'm going to be changing everyone's names so no one knows who's who. Okay, so when I first started, I was a night shift worker, and I used to work with this guy named Tom, and he told me from the get-go, like, he would like, did you hear something, or have you heard anything, or he would ask me stuff, and I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, do you hear like the chips crinkling? And I'm like, what? Like, and I had heard them. I would hear footsteps, like I'm down the aisles and no one was in there. I would hear the doors opening, like where you get the drinks, like the cooler doors. I'd hear those opening, closing, and no one was there. I would hear the bags, like the bag of chips crinkling, and it was just really freaky. Like, nothing more than that happened for a long time. And this other girl, Emily, she used to work there, and one time I was facing towards the registers, and she was facing towards the office door that's like by the side of the registers, and she looks up like a little above me, and she had a shocked look on her face, and I was like, so I looked behind me really quick, and I didn't see anything, but I saw the door close, and no one was in there, no one was behind me opening the door or anything, and she's like, dude, the door just opened. And I'm like, no, it's a heavy door too. So I was like, no. She's like, the door just opened. And I was like, what the hell? So I went to go, to open the door, and it was locked. And there was no one inside, because the door is not supposed to be locked when there's someone in there. So I was like, okay. So I was like, this is just too much. That was like maybe 2 months after Tom had told me that before. And so the next big thing was one time I was working with this guy named George, and I was by the sink, like I was washing something on the sink, like in the front of the store, or by the side of the store actually, and there was like a little cabinet under the sink where we put all our like cleaning supplies and everything. And so I was cleaning the dishes or whatever it was, and then I feel someone like grab like my leg like that, just grab it, but not like hard grab, but just like a little grab, so like maybe like for me to move. So I thought it was George, and so I moved and I looked and I was like, there's no one around me, and I was like, so I freaked out, and I have anxiety, so my anxiety was like through the roof. Like, I was literally like borderline hyperventilating. I was like starting to freak out, cry. And so when I started to a little bit calm down, George started walking to go to the back. And he saw me, he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, something just grabbed my leg. He was like, who? And I was like, no, something just grabbed my leg. He's like, what? And I was like, I told him what happened. He's like, oh my god, that's weird. That's nothing like that's ever happened. And I'm like, so I started like freaking out. And I was like, oh my god. That was like the first encounter that I had like physically had. So Tom and I were right behind the registers, and we were getting all our stuff, our paperwork and everything to get to close, because it was like 5 minutes before we were supposed to close. And then all of a sudden, we were the only ones in the store. There was no other customers in the bathrooms, there was no customers in the store, there was no other employees, it was just us two. And then all of a sudden we hear a loud bang, like coming from the back storage room, and both of us just look at each other like, what was that? Like, what the hell? And since he was the man, I was like, go check it out. So he went, and he was like, that was not, there's no one here. What was that? And so we're like, what the heck? So we closed the store, we counted down everything, we're like walking around, the light's still on, and we're like, what was that? So we were trying to like reenact the sound that it made. And so he goes into the storage room and he closes the door, and he's like, see if you can hear this. So he tells me to go back to the register where we were, and then he bangs as hard as he could on the door, like with both hands on the door like that. That was the exact sound that it made earlier. And we're like, what the heck? He was like, he came out and he's like, was that it? And I was like, that was the exact sound He was like, no, I don't believe you. And I'm like, we'll switch. So he went over there and I went to the back and I slammed the door. He's like, oh my god, that was it. And I was like, told you. So that was like another like big thing. So Henry is the most recent coworker that I have experiences with. He's mostly a closer, and I'm not really, but sometimes I will close. And every single time I close with him, something happens. Whether it's really small or really big, something always happens. And one time, one of the first times I would close with him, he was doing the cooler in the back, and you can see when someone's walking back there, obviously you can see. And so that's where I thought he was. So I was like doing in the front, like checking everything, make sure everything was good, because it was like an hour or two before we were supposed to close. And then I turn around and I see someone like walking in the cooler. I've been seeing someone walking back and forth in there for a while. And I turn around because the door rings for someone that's coming, like a customer to come in. So I turn around and say hello, and it's Henry. And I'm like, oh, weren't you just in the cooler? And he's like, I've been out here for a little bit getting the trash out here. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, he saw my face and he's like, why, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, someone's in the cooler. And he's like, what? And he looks at the cooler and I'm like, someone's in there. I could have sworn I saw someone walking in there and I thought it was you because I thought you were doing the cooler. He's like, okay. So he goes to check it out and he's like, he comes back, he's like, no one's in there. And I'm like, okay. And you can't, there's an exit in the back, but you can't go through there because if you walk out through that exit, sirens, like really loud sirens go off. It's like an emergency exit. So we started freaking out. So this next one is with Henry, and this was also when we were about to close. It was like maybe an hour or two also before. Everything happens an hour or two before. But yeah, so it was an hour or two before we were supposed to close. And then like I'm walking around and I have my hair in a bun and everything, and all of a sudden he says, what's that on your neck? And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you have scratches. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, look. And I went to go look in the mirror, like in the window mirror, and I had scratches all the way from here, from like right here all the way down to right here, and it almost drew blood. That's how bad the scratch was. But I didn't feel it. I didn't feel anything. So I started freaking out and I was like, what the heck? Like I wasn't scratching there. I was like, nothing itched. And it was like a scratch. It wasn't just one scratch. It was 3 scratches. So it had to have been something or someone like scratched me, but I didn't get touched by any customer. I didn't scratch myself or anything. So I don't know how that happened, but that was the most creepiest thing that has happened to me at this job. And one of the next ones was also, it wasn't with Henry, but he had the exact same incident happen with him. So it was me and a customer. I was stocking a little fruit thing that we have in the front, and the customer was standing by the grill area because we sell burritos and stuff. And so he was standing right there, like by the side, and I was standing by the fruit barrel. And in front of the fruit barrel, there is like a row of donuts on this side and then chips on this side. And it's like a good, it's not this close, it's a good like distance between the donuts and the grill area. And so it's like a hallway. And so all of a sudden I'm just there minding my own business, stocking the stuff, and so is the customer. He's looking at the burritos, what we have, and then all of a sudden a donut, not donut, but like the donut packaging, not just falls off the shelf, flies off the shelf and almost hits the customer. And the customer looks at it and he just looks at me and he's like, okay, this is all for me. So he goes and like speed walks to the register and he's like hurrying up to pay and everything, and he leaves and I'm like alone in the store because the other employee was taking out the trash. So I was just there like, okay, I'm just gonna stay back here and just mind my own business. So I was like, okay, that's just like 100% confirmed that this place is haunted. And it's not like, if something falls off the shelf, it falls off generally close to that area, within a foot or two in that area. This is like a 6-foot difference. Like, it flew diagonally 6 feet across the freaking thing and landed by the customer, almost hitting the customer. So I was just like, yeah, there's no way that fell off the shelf. Like, no, there's no possible way. And this next bit, I was working by myself because I was in between shifts, so I had like an hour in between people. So I had the store to myself, and I was going back and forth between the storage room, and then all of a sudden I had the door open, like in the storage. I can hear customers come in, and then I hear like the cooler door open, like for someone to get drinks, and I'm like, I didn't hear any customer come in through the front door, and there was no customers when I went to the back. So I was like, okay. So I come out, and one of the door to the Coke, like the Cokes and the Sprites and all that, was open. Like I was walking out and I saw it. Say this is the door right here. I'm walking out and I look, and as soon as I look, it closes. I was by myself. No one was in the store with me. It was daytime, but still, I was freaking out. I was like, okay, but looking around the store, there was no one even parked outside. There was no one putting gas. There was no one doing anything outside. So I was literally alone on the premises of this store, and I was like, okay. So I'm just, I'm gonna ignore that. That was just the wind, nothing. So I told myself that just to calm myself down because I was so freaked out. So I guess that's all for today. If you guys want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comments down below. I wasn't really planning on making a lot of paranormal videos, but I do have a lot of stories to tell, so if you guys want to hear them, I shall tell them. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and a comment below. Maybe even subscribe to my channel. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down and a comment of a reason why you didn't like it. Maybe I can change it. So thanks guys for watching Kiss My Ashley. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!